Hey there, Shelley Sanders here, psychic medium, business intuitive, and welcome to True Self Tuesday. So go ahead and do me a favor, like and subscribe so you'll know when I'm going live, and then also share so we can get this message out to as many people as possible. So let's go ahead and jump in. So today our topic is take off the mask. So, when I say take off the mask, I'm not referring to the one that we currently use in order to protect ourselves from COVID, the one that goes over your mouth and nose. The mask that I'm referring to is the full face mask that we tend to wear in order to make those around us feel comfortable. So here's what I mean is oftentimes we will put on a mask or we'll put on a persona or we will act in a particular way in order to help people around us to feel better. And whenever we do this, it begins to start to cover up who we really are. And then our true self wants to begin to come out. It starts to nudge us. But it can be kind of tough to let that out if we're really a people pleaser and if we care more about being accepted and being a part of a group. So let me just share what I mean by this. So at the age of 4, I was able to see spirit. So I was able to see them, talk to them, and hear them. But because I come from a strong religious background, my family was afraid of it, and my grandfather in particular. And so what he said to my parents is, if she doesn't stop talking to ghosts, then I can't visit you anymore. So, because of this, my mother had to immediately shut this down that I couldn't no longer talk to spirit. So, in essence, what happens is that face mask for me, that's my very first face mask that went on at the age of 4 because I could not be my true self. I couldn't be my natural self of talking to spirit. So at the age of 14, that mask tried to come off again. And so at this time, I was able to see spirit. And I was so excited that I went to my parents and let them know that the spirits were back. But, my mother, she was just like, oh no, not this again. And so I realized that my family wasn't ready for this. So, maybe you can relate because when we are trying to fit in, it's just so important that we are accepted and that we don't want to be left on the outside. So oftentimes what will happen is this will hit us right at the root chakra, right at the base. So that root chakra is all about survival. So it's fight, it's flight, it's survival, it's about being together. And when we're not together, then there's a part where that survival could be attacked or it could be weakened because way back when, during this time of when people really had to cluster together in order to get shelter, in order to get food, that was really important to be part of a group. So there's a base part of us that still gets triggered as far as being accepted. And so you might find that if you're a people pleaser or if you're not being yourself in order to fit in, or if it feels uncomfortable, or people are saying to you that they don't quite feel comfortable, or it would please them if you act a particular way, that can actually hit you into your root chakra. And that's when you start to cover up your true essence. So when we do this, you might find that you don't quite feel yourself. Your days may feel kind of plain and bland. You may not really have that gusto for life. You might find yourself living for the weekend, or you can even find yourself of just kind of keeping yourself busy through social media or maybe binge watching a lot of TV. You might find that you're kind of existing instead of living. Like when you wake up in the morning, you're not really excited. It's kind of like, it's just another day, and what is it today? It's because that trueness within you, what your soul is calling you to do, it hasn't been able to come out yet. And because you've been covering up yourself, your days can kind of seem maybe bland, boring, or even dreary. Okay. So for me, the masks begin to come off at the age of 40. So this is when spirit came back, and it's like, okay, we were with you at 4, we were with you at 14. Now you're in a position to where you can stand up for yourself to speak about spirit. And at this point, I no longer needed anyone's approval. However, because that was such a long time ago, from 4 to 40, I forgot how to communicate with spirit. And so I had to learn all over again. And so it was like reading books and having a spiritual teacher, and taking classes and workshops. And what the universe does, and this is what I absolutely love, is that they start to leave these cosmic breadcrumbs in order to help you to find yourself and help you start that self-awareness and discovery. So if you're like really worried about that your whole life is going to blow up and that this is just going to fall apart and everything's happening at once, don't worry, because it is a step by step, and it's a gradual wakening up, and it's a gradual of taking that mask off, because within you it's your chakras. And so as you start healing those old traumas that are hitting you in your chakras, that's when you start to feel more comfortable, and then you're able to take the next step. So let's talk about the sacral chakra, because this is the one that's right at the belly button, and this is the ability for you to start to show who you are, that you want to start to change your life. You realize that something's missing and you want something different. So once you start to heal this, you'll find that you're going to start to get opportunities to be more of who you are. Now, one thing that's going to help you with your chakras that I absolutely love, and they're crystals. And so the clear quartz crystal, this one is really good. And this is really the workhorse of all the chakras. So if you need help opening up your root chakra, which is all about that survival, fight or flight. If you need help opening up your sacral chakra right there at the belly button, it's like who you're becoming and starting to discover yourself. This is going to also help you, as well as your solar plexus. So the solar plexus is the one that's just underneath the breastbone. So within that muscle, when you feel it, if it kind of tightens up, if you feel like you get muscle spasms there, that's your solar plexus, and it lets you know that that's closed. So with the solar plexus, this is how we project ourselves to others, like how we see ourselves and how we project ourselves into the world. So one of the things that I like to do is sometimes I like to wear crystals. So that could be a lot of fun. So the thing with crystals is they don't have to be a huge piece. It could be something like even a small little chip. So I do like to play with different sizes because sometimes it's fun. So I like to have like a heart crystal, just to remind me to keep my heart open and to know that everything is okay. And then also if you like to use it as like decoration, just to maybe having it within your own sacred space, it's just a lot of fun to have crystals. I find that it also helps me when I do psychic and mediumship readings for clients, or when I'm teaching classes with students. I like to have my crystals around to kind of just help open up and amplify. So the thing is that when we start to follow these cosmic breadcrumbs, and things open up for us. So I was able to go from, not being able to talk to spirit to being able to take classes, to be able to start doing readings. And then now I'm teaching classes as far as beginning and intermediate psychic and mediumship readings. So this is a process that goes along, and it opens up as you start to remove the mask. But if you don't remove it, then there's all of these gems that are inside of you that you don't get access to, and you're not even aware that they're available. Now, there is so much talk right now about, what is my purpose? What is my calling? What am I here to do? There's tons of books about this in the self-help section. Oprah did a whole show on it. And the thing is that if you find yourself like really struggling and you're not quite sure, like, why are you here or what are you meant to do? It's because you haven't taken that mask off yet. You haven't had that time to do that self-discovery. And so when you start to do your own inner healing and allow yourself to take the journey, that this is when you start to find your purpose and your calling, and then you just really begin to light up because you start enjoying life. And then you go from existing kind of the day to day, like, oh, this again, to you wake up like, oh my goodness, I'm so glad to be here again on the earth because I get to do what I really love and enjoy. So I hope that that this tip helps you as far as, taking off that face mask so that you can find your true self. So let me share with you what I have coming up. So I actually have a couple of things. So if you are a psychic or a medium and you're looking to take your readings to the next level, like you're at that intermediate level and you really just want to kind of dig in and just get information consistently and wanting to start to unfold the story and just get incredible information and get that evidence. I do have a 4-week class coming up and it's called Mediumship Techniques. Now, this is on Thursday, November 12th. That will be our first day of class. And the URL to join us is mt4.eventbrite.com. Also, if you're someone that's brand new, starting to get your feet wet, you enjoy oracle cards but don't quite know how to read them without using a book, I invite you to join us for a free masterclass. This is going to be on Saturday, November 14th. I am going to be doing readings while we're on the masterclass together. So we're going to have a lot of fun. And if you can't join us live, don't worry because we will record it. So if you can't join us live, we will definitely send you out the email recording. And the URL to join us is oracle.eventbrite.com. So I hope that you had a great time with this tip. I had a wonderful time sharing it with you. Take care and have a great day.